I'm Natalie Standridge, founder and franchisor of Casa de Corazón Intercultural Early Learning. Welcome to my podcast, Decades of Disruption. Here, I'll share my journey, the decades of stories and convictions that have driven my choice to not only contribute to, but also to disrupt the early childhood education industry. But these stories aren't only my own. I'll be joined by the people whose lives have been changed by what I've created and whose mere existence have been a constant source of inspiration to me too. If you're ready to challenge the status quo and build something truly unique and impactful, you're in the right place. Disruption has a purpose, and we're here to talk about it. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by Jennifer Quist, a former network and software engineer who spent 20 years in a very heavily male-dominated industry before making the bold decision to own her own business. And not just any business, 2 successful Casa de Corazón franchises. Welcome to the podcast, Jen.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jen, so excited to start this conversation with you. Before you began the business that you now own and operate, you spent nearly 2 decades in the network engineering and computer science field. What brought you to that field originally?
I don't really know what brought me there. I knew that I wanted to go to UW Stout, so I was accepted and I went up there for their kind of discovery day of what programs that they had to help you declare your major and get going with your schedule. And I walked through the booths and I saw technology and something new and just realized that this is a nice challenge. I'm ready to take that next step and I can do this.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. And you earned an MBA, you built a very successful career in that industry, but at some point you started to question your career path and think about doing a business of your own. What caused that shift for you?
I think I just had been doing the same thing for a really long time and was looking for that next change. Having a great company that I was working for and great friends that I had there. So there wasn't really any reason to leave, but it was just this internal I can do more. And I feel like my children maybe could use a different example. And I want to learn and grow still. Like I'm 30, 35. I don't know how old I was at that exact time, but I'm ready. I still want to learn. I still want to do more.
I love that about you. Always ambitious, always saying, what am I going to do next? And I hear you saying that. What's next? What else can I do? And just always wanting to learn and grow and expand. And I think that's super respectable. Do you think that your family had any influence on your decision to become an entrepreneur?
Yes, definitely. I had 2 older children, a 10, a 7, and then a baby. And I think it was just a whole collection of what have I been doing? I've been a mom for 10 years, but what else have I been doing? Yeah. So it was kind of this moment of looking around at what I have done and then what goals do I want to instill in my children and how I can grow, how I can have them watch me grow, and then how they can grow and how the family can grow. And it just, there's got to be something more.
Absolutely. That's so great. I love that you have always sort of been on this path. Like even before you had your Casa franchises, you were starting small businesses with your husband. You did some real estate investment and you had a Shopify business. What did that teach you about what it was like to be an entrepreneur?
It taught me that sometimes long hours are needed to learn skills to help you become better at that business. And we knew a little bit of background on, I have software engineering, so I was able to build the website and fitness. So we kind of knew some of those types of things. We thought we could put them all together and create this store that everybody in the world would come to. And then realize that our marketing skills were not the best. Okay. So we learned about the pros and strengths and how well we could work together. And when there's a common goal, we could work together and trade off some of our time. And that both of us were able to do lots of things, hard things.
Yeah. So that's really great. But when that didn't end up being the main thing that you wanted to do, and you started considering other opportunities to build a business and looking at franchises and looking at acquisitions and that kind of thing, sometimes you said you felt like you were just buying a job when you were looking at some of these opportunities. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Because I've heard that phrase before.
Yeah, there were a couple of businesses that were for sale that we were looking at some numbers and interviewing some of the owners to see if it was a right fit for us. And it just seemed like the owner of that business was everything. They were the marketer, they were the HR, they were the accounting, and it just felt like it was too much to learn and then to be the jack of all trades and do everything. Like they did everything, and then there were like 4 employees. Those were the types of businesses that we were looking at, and it just didn't seem like the right fit that I would be doing this and it would be a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be getting anything out of it other than just owning a business. And
Right.
I wanted more than just owning the business. I wanted a purpose for the business.
Yeah. So then shortly after that, Casa came into the picture and I think maybe answered that call for you. Tell me about when you first heard about us and how it came into your sphere of awareness.
Yeah, my 3rd child, my daughter, was born at the same time as a friend's daughter. And she was lucky enough to send to a casa from the start. And we just started to compare notes, as moms do, at the lunch table when we were eating. And it was just what the program offered was not at all what my daughter's program was able to offer anywhere near me in my metro area. That it just wasn't there. And so we were just talking. And then I think it was 18 months old and her daughter was speaking not fluent Spanish, but Spanish sentences and English sentences and understanding both. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. I want this for my daughter. I want to be a part of this. And so it was great when I heard that franchising was starting. Just, on the ground, getting ready.
Yeah.
So I reached out to you to start learning more about it. And it just felt right from the very beginning.
Yeah, we had an amazing discovery day and then we found the perfect location very quickly and were able to get through getting that open in a pretty short timeline. And then your youngest did get to attend before she went to kindergarten.
She had to go to the pre-K classroom for the whole year before kindergarten. It was amazing.
Little dream come true. Yeah, she learned quite a bit of Spanish in that.
She did.
That year.
She did. Yeah. Not knowing any to, having full sentences, complete sentences. Yeah.
So good. So you mentioned that working with Casa is a little bit different. And when you met me, you felt immediately that it was sort of a collaborative relationship versus, a franchisee reporting to a franchisor. Can you talk about how important that was in your decision making when choosing a business?
Yeah, that was one of the most important things that I wanted was a collaborative partnership instead of these are the rules, you must follow them. Like, for example, McDonald's. McDonald's has been around forever.
Yep.
And these are the colors and these are the exact everything that must be followed. And I wanted to be in from the ground. I wanted to be in and have a partner that valued opinions and not that I challenge all the time, but take some of the challenges appropriately and really thinks through all of the feedback and will make changes if it is deemed necessary for the program that this is actually really, really valuable. Let's do that. And I just felt that you were the right partner to be in this with and somebody with a huge amount of knowledge that could help set the business up for success.
It's a cool balance, right? Because I have over 20 years of experience in the industry, everything from frontline preschool teacher all the way up to owning multiple units. But you are coming in with fresh eyes and the modern perspective on what are the young families looking for in their childcare now. And I love being a collaborative organization. So that you can feel comfortable bringing new ideas or challenging things that maybe we haven't looked at in 15 years, right? I think it's such a valuable thing in an organization and an evolving brand to be able to collaborate with your franchise owners. And your feedback is always so valuable. And sometimes it does challenge me on ways that I've thought for many, many years. But I'm open to considering as long as they're still beneficial for all of the other franchise owners and stakeholders. And that's what it means to be part of an emerging brand.
Right.
So, it was a win-win for both of us, for sure. So when you started with Casa, you didn't just step into business ownership. You stepped into a purpose-driven business, which is something that you said you were looking for. We are an innovative brand, which is why we need to stay collaborative, right? And innovative and open to everyone's ideas because we're actually trying to reshape early childhood education a little bit. What is that like for you being part of industry that has been the way it's been for a very long time, but part of a brand that's trying to challenge that status quo.
I love it. I love that when I can have conversations with neighbors or friends that have young ones, but mostly neighbors now, or people from like my friends, my kids, his friends, or that this is different. Casa's different. Like, yeah, I own this, and we don't do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, our food is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just today, actually, I was at the center, and I was like, I want lunch. I don't know what it is today, but it smells incredible, right? And it was, chicken rice, and it was like so good. But I love that yes, I'm part of something that is challenging something. We don't just go for just the status quo. It is better. It is better. And I love being a part of something that I'm really proud to be a part of.
Oh, that's so meaningful to me. Thank you. I love to hear you say that. What does owning a casa mean to you as a person, as a woman, as a leader, as a mom, all of those things?
It means so much because the values of Casa line up with the values of myself and the values of my family. So to be able to do something that is an extension of me and to do it and make money on it is incredible. I know that my children watch me and they know the purpose behind what I'm doing, and they understand why I make some of the decisions that I do. And we actually got better as a family to talk a little bit about the values and how our values align and how we should make decisions based on these and not just on a whim, right? Just to have a more purposeful approach to life in general. So it's been a great change, a little bit of our life.
So good.
Direction.
Yeah. And with that change, you've sometimes said that your friends see you as a new woman. What do they mean when they say that?
Yeah, they say I'm just more confident, that I stand taller, even though I don't think I am standing taller. But they just say that I'm different.
Presence.
My presence is just, it's more. I'm joining some women groups, and I'm able to share now. I have the experience. I'm able to help people out and say, you know what? It was really hard because it was COVID.
Yeah.
But it will get better. And it's okay. You have to stand firm. You can't just be wishy-washy. You know what you're doing. You know why. Stay with it.
Yeah.
And it's only been 4 years, but so much growth has happened in 4 years that I really, truly feel like a different person.
Yeah. Well, I've always seen you as a very confident, self-assured person, but
Thank you.
Yeah, you came in at the most difficult time, and I just want to honor that you opened your center in December of 2020, and it was pretty tough there in the beginning, and I think coming through that worst of the worst challenges of all of the government regulations and all of the health threats and then the staffing crisis shortly thereafter, it was just one challenge after another that were some of the most difficult I've seen in my career in your first year. And getting through those can build this, okay, I am capable, I am strong, can get through this really hard time and just be better for it. So it's been amazing to watch you do that. What have been some of the biggest challenges and lessons that you've learned on this journey, whether it be that first year or otherwise?
Oh boy, biggest lessons learned. This is my first experience with any government regulation as far as like licensing. And licensing may differ between states. It may differ between centers, just the way that it's interpreted. Yeah. And so my biggest thing to overcome is to try to read the specific law or license or rule and then actually turn it into how can we meet that the best way. Yeah. So that it's not subjective. This is what they're asking for. Let's do this. Let's figure that out. And there's a lot of them. So that was the biggest thing to overcome, and then to understand that it is actually okay that, we left the hand sanitizer on a table, right? Like, it's okay. It says it's a dangerous object, but it's hand sanitizer. We'll move it up. It was like a minute and they just happened to be there, right? Yeah. So I think it's resilience, but also it seems so big right away. But then
absolutely,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of rules and a lot of regulations, and that's licensing's job, right? Is to check that we have everything at the utmost safety standards for these children, and that's what we're there for. So
Right.
we just learn it and we do the best we can.
And we understand why they have the rules. I think that's the thing is I can get behind anything, but you need to tell me why does this exist? And then once we figure that out, then it's like, oh yeah, this makes total sense. And then this is how we can ensure that we're meeting that rule.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about health and safety and creating the best learning environment.
Yeah.
Those rules are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, on this podcast, we are not afraid to talk about the numbers. You already mentioned, okay, I'm doing something meaningful where I can also make a living, and that's so powerful. So we are here to disrupt, and I've noticed in the Casa owner financial meetings, you are often more scrupulous than I am about watching every moving piece. You notice things in the numbers that I maybe am not even looking at. So let's talk stats a little bit. Even though women own 42% of the businesses in the United States, only 2% of women-owned businesses in the U.S. generate $1 million or more in annual revenue. So most Casas do, your Casas do. How does it feel to be in the top 2% of women business owners?
It's incredible. It doesn't feel real. Most days, there's still some times that I think, how am I doing this? Like, how am I the one that is doing this and successful? And I love Excel. So yes, I check all of the numbers. I am there. I take screenshots of them and I organize. I just love the Excel. I love seeing and forecasting. But to be a part of something, again, the numbers are awesome. They're great. But I'm making an impact, and that means more
and more. Yeah.
And so to have both of them together, it just can't be any better.
I feel like that's the way it needs to be. Like, I can't imagine having a career where I'm not making a difference, right? In what I'm doing or feeling that I'm having a positive impact on my community. So what does that mean to you now that you feel like you do have a purpose-driven career? How has that affected you, your family, your self-image?
Yeah, it is just creating stronger people all around me, from my kids to myself. I know that the impact is further than just the children at the daycare. It's also their families. The ITPs, we have 4 ITPs that came today, international teachers that are here from El Salvador, Ecuador, and Colombia, Mexico. I mean, they're here today for the first time. And the impact
of your
because of my centers, yes. And they're experiencing Minnesota. They experienced snow today, all days. Here they are, snowball fight in the front yard, right? Like, it's just like I'm a part of their life, and they're bringing their culture to these children and the families. And then there's 2 centers, so it's just double. And then I get to be a part of the local teachers' lives and learn from them and understand their cultures and how do they live in the United States and in Minnesota, and what can I do to help them, and how can we work together to just change the world little by little by little through all of those things. It's incredible.
It is. And I was just telling my daughter the other day, like, she was talking about finding her purpose, and what I need to know what my purpose is. And I said, I didn't know what my purpose was when I was your age. There are purposes that I'm still finding now, like this international teaching program that you mentioned. It's where Casa sponsors visas, and we encourage our franchise owners to sponsor visas as well for international teachers to come and teach in the United States. It's a temporary visa. They can come and teach with us for 15 months. They can go back home and apply again 12 months later. And a lot of them do. They come more than once or twice. But for that first time, it's their first time ever coming to the United States for many of them. Like you said, the first time seeing snow for these 4 individuals that came today. And I had no idea when I started this business that part of my purpose would be providing that opportunity for international, highly educated teachers to come and teach in the United States. But it's very central for me, and I can tell it is for you as well. And we discover these things on our career paths that make our work so much more meaningful than we even maybe thought it was going to be.
Right. Yeah, it was an unexpected, wonderful surprise that I loved. I love it. And I know there'll be something that will come later next year or in 6 months. It'll be like, oh yeah, this is part of me too now. This is Casa, and I'm excited about this.
Isn't that the fun of being an entrepreneur, is that there's always something new. It's never boring. It's always changing. We always get new challenges and new rewards too.
Exactly.
Yes, love that. So I know that when we've signed your first franchise agreement, you made sure that your kids would have the right of first refusal if you were ever to retire or exit the business for any other reason. Tell me what it means for you to have your kids maybe involved in the future, or what it kind of legacy you want to create for them in your franchise ownership.
Right. I think a lot of business owners want to make sure that they have an exit strategy at some point, right? And I wanted to make sure that if my children fell in love with it as much as I did and had that passion and saw that purpose, that they had the ability to step up and take on a role like this too. And I'm seeing how much that I'm learning throughout the process, that I hope that one of them are inspired and this fits with their career path and what they think that their purpose might be.
That's beautiful. What are a couple of the important values that you hope to instill in them through that?
That's a good one. I mean, I want them to be strong and confident. I want them to also be resilient, and know that they can fail and then they can get back up, because we can all have to learn things.
Yeah.
I want them to just be part of the world, in all of the world, and in all of these cultures that we mix together here and we're working with and collaborating together with. I like that they could be in business, and that's part of what franchising is. They can be in business for themselves, but not by themselves, right? Like they have somebody walking alongside of them, and I know and I trust that that you will be there for them to help them learn what I was able to learn, but give them the space to make their own little mistakes within it. But still, you can't go too far, but you can make your own little one that's just inside.
No, that's such a good teaching for them. I think sometimes we as parents and as educators forget to teach our kids that failure is good and that making mistakes is okay, because that's sometimes how we learn the best lessons, right? And how we figure things out and how they can figure things out for themselves.
Right. Yes.
So good. So if you can think back when you were still in the tech industry and before you were your new woman, what advice would you give that Jen back then?
Oh boy, what advice? I really would just say keep looking, just like I was doing. Keep looking. Something else is there. Follow your gut, your intuition. Like it's in there for a reason. Don't think that, no, I'll be okay, or this is good. This is a safe space, right? Like if you're feeling it, go for it. Try it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be disappointed. You're going to learn. So just go with it. Stay on that path of looking for that next step, because you can do it.
So great. You're such a shining example, not only for your kids, but for women entrepreneurs everywhere, or maybe budding entrepreneurs who are in a career where they feel stuck and they might be inspired by your story. It's just been so great to have you on the podcast today and hear your perspective on all of these things. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining us on this special episode with Jennifer Quist. This podcast is so much fun because I'm getting to have these heartfelt, true conversations with some of the people that I admire and respect more than anyone else in the world and have the honor and pleasure of working with. So great to have Jen here today. Hopefully this has been inspiring for any budding entrepreneurs out there who might feel a little stuck in their corporate job and want to explore something new. Please reach out to us. We are here to have conversations with anyone who might be curious.